Wow. How you doing, everyone? Welcome back to the FLA Exposure Podcast. It's only been 2 months since we've done an episode, so I'm slow on the toggles today. Johnny, how you doing?
Doing good, brother.
Good.
Got my workout in shoveling snow already, so.
Yes. It's 8 inches in the nice Annapolis Valley, none here in the middle of the province, so I'll take it. It looks like it's snowing a little bit here now, but looks like we're heading into a beautiful weekend.
Yeah, man. Fingers crossed. Weather looks good for the show. I mean, that's really all that matters. As long as we can get there and everyone else gets there safely. And man, that's it. Those winter shows.
Yeah. Speak of the devil, we just I'm just dealing with a fighter right now. We'll deal with that afterwards. On his way here, dealing with some snow. But anyway, folks, again, episode 197 of the FLA Exposure Podcast, getting close to 200. Hard to believe. It's only taken us 6 to 8 months to do 13 to 14 podcasts since we took off.
Yeah, since we were allowed to work.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get back to it a little bit here with what we've been working on eventually. But big weekend this weekend, Johnny. 8 fights on the docket, 3 big pro fights, and 5 amateur fights, an amateur title. Can't wait. How you feeling about it all?
Feel good, man. I mean, it was awesome to see this card come together the way it did. A couple last minute opponent switches and things like that, and yeah, I'm excited to see this one shake out, man. I think there's a lot of talent on this card, and there's a lot of experience on this card, and it's going to show. So, yeah, it's going to be fantastic. I mean, really cool to see Sean Wallace after, the main event fell apart in FLA 1 way back in the day, when the weather canceled that one on him. He's back in the main event slot, and it's going to be great, man.
Yeah.
Another one at the Coliseum.
I know, it's like our home, our second home. It's for all of us and our crew and our staff. We've got to say nothing but great things about that venue. They're fantastic to work with, and they've been really great with us since we switched there since COVID. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, things happen for a reason, I guess, right?
Exactly. Well, again, fans, if you haven't got tickets, everything's available online. FightLeagueAtlantic.com. You can purchase tickets. There's 1 table remaining. There's about 30 some floor tickets remaining, and then online pay-per-view is also available. All online. FightLeagueAtlantic.com. Weigh-ins tomorrow, 3:00. They'll be live on our Instagram, not on Facebook or YouTube. So just please be aware of that. They will only be available on our Instagram page, and then of course we'll put out a highlight. Let's get right into it, Johnny. First fight of the night, Bryce Tracy versus David Chapman.
Yeah, a couple of young guys. I mean, David, I love seeing him come back again. 0-2, but he's always exciting. He's always pushing. His last fight, I thought, it was going either way until it wasn't. And Bryce, geez, man, Bryce came off that quick victory against another guy that was, had a lot of hype around him. And, we haven't really seen Bryce do much, but win quickly. So I suspect him and David are going to get into it and open up this card properly, man. It's going to be bell-to-bell action, there's no doubt.
Yeah, I agree. That's very well said. I don't have much more to follow up with that. They're both 2 great, humble young men. And that's interesting you say that, because we've seen David, I don't know, his first fight, I don't know how many rounds that went. I don't know if it was the second or third, but he's got quite a bit of kickboxing experience too. And then you got Bryce over on the other hand, who's got he's competed quite a bit in the last year or so in a lot of jiu-jitsu competitions. So, but not a lot of MMA time. Mm-hmm. So it should be very interesting to see what happens, but I think it's going to be a great start. I agree.
Yeah, man.
Heading right into number 2, another a bantamweight fight. Gavin Costa making his way from Ontario again, fought Brady McDonald last time, fighting Zach Raymond.
Yeah, I mean, Gavin's a guy that he came down and fought Brady, didn't really get a chance to showcase his skills. It was a quick fight, Brady jumping on that foot there, but I think with Gavin's striking background, this matchup against Zach Raymond's going to be it's going to be a really good fight for both of these guys, right? I mean, Zach moving down to 135, I think it's a good idea. Him going up against Kari last time, he looked a lot smaller even, and he got caught to the body, which, I mean, a headshot will put you down, but a body shot will just, cripple you. So yeah, I'm excited to see him moving down to 35, and I think him and Gavin, obviously, I suspect they're gonna keep it standing and both utilize what is their main skill, which is their striking. So very interesting. I mean, who knows? Maybe one of them shoots.
Yeah, you never know. I'd be shocked if it's Zach, but you never know. It's you're right, man. Like, but again, two young guys who are predominantly strikers, but again,
Mhm.
two young, just real respectful, great kids. So they wanted to fight. They called each other out, and they
It's a
made
great match. I think these guys are yeah, I think it was a good call for both those guys to do that. I think Zach moving down to 35 is a great idea. And I'm just happy to see these guys coming back, right? Like there's nothing worse than someone having a setback and then just quitting.
yeah,
You know what I mean? The guys that have it's man, it's the fight game. Like 10 million variables can happen in a split second. And to take that the way that both of them did and come back and fight again is going to be awesome, man. I mean, redemption for both these guys coming off losses, but exciting fighters nonetheless. And I don't think those losses need to take anything away from what they're capable of.
agreed. Very well said, buddy.
Yeah.
Number 3, Chris
Oh,
Boyd.
yeah. Chris Boyd, the Bulldog, man. I mean, I just love seeing Chris fight. I mean, we've seen him fight against Raj.
Hundreds
And I
of
mean,
times in jiu-jitsu.
yeah, right, exactly. But Chris is just a pressure fighter, man, and tough as hell. So, it's another guy. He's looking for redemption from his last fight. He got caught. Even getting caught, man, he was never really down and out. The ref stopped him, kept him safe, but he wouldn't have quit. It was that simple. I think Chris would have just got until he was literally killed if he was allowed to. Josh Anderson, I mean, we haven't seen him fight yet, but coming out of Wolf Run, the rest of the guys on the card from Wolf Run and everyone else we've ever seen, with Paul Abel down there, they're going to be ready. He's training with a ton of talented guys over there with a lot of experience, so that's bound to rub off. And I mean, Chris is no joke, and I'm sure Josh is going to be a tough guy. And Chris is dealing with a height advantage again, or height disadvantage, sorry. And yeah, he's never had anyone say he's at a height advantage, I don't think. But Chris will be dealing with the height disadvantage against Josh. So let's see if he can get inside. And I'd be curious to see if he's going to switch up his strategy this time. Last time, man, he was down to bang. Unfortunately, he got clipped, but.
And he was doing very well before. Like, you got
doing very well, very well.
He's no stranger. Like, he's coming out of Mickey Marshall's camp. He's put in lots of hard sparring rounds.
He's done some kickboxing for sure.
But like you said, it's a phenomenal fight for both these. I was shocked actually how big Josh was compared to Barrage. He's probably an inch or two bigger than Barrage. So
Josh is a tall, lanky guy, man.
He is, but Chris loved that. He loved that challenge about taking on someone from the same team again, like in a very respectful way, right?
Of course.
They took his they got his number, and he wants his number back. So great two, very well spoken, great guys, man, and may the best man win for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Grissom versus Labeled. I don't know why I said that with a French accent. But the main, I guess the main prelim.
Yeah, heading off for the intermission, and this was one Hayden lost his opponent fairly late into the getting this card put together. And big props and thanks to Olivier for stepping up and fighting a big tough guy like Hayden, who's coming off a very decisive win in his debut. I mean, coming out of the Total Martial Arts there, coming down with those guys with Terry Lemire and the team. I'm sure it's another room full of talented, experienced guys. Hayden's over there at Henzo. Henzo Gracie PEI with Matt McGrath, basically the most winningest record in FLA at this point in time. I'm sure Hayden's looking to extend that. I'm sure Olivier is looking to make a splash in his debut. I mean, if he can do anything with Hayden, man, that is a statement right there. And Hayden's gonna be a big guy for him. So again, like, much respect just for stepping up on this one and being willing to fight a tough guy in your debut. So yeah, man, I don't know what's gonna happen because we know Hayden's a a berserker when he gets in there. So
he's ready to go for sure. Like, you know, he's a
yeah,
all lanky, and he's got that he's got that switch, right? Like, so
he's got that switch.
we'll see. He comes from a great camp, but Olivier was willing to fight anywhere from 55 to 85. Like,
Yeah,
talk about a gamer, like just trying to get his opportunity. He can't get an opportunity, so he's like, you know, he thought about like different things, and he was ready. Most importantly, he was licensed.
yeah, he was ready to go.
He
He
got
made
his
it easy
license.
for us.
This
Yeah,
is a guy in Northern Ontario who did not have a fight confirmed, who got medicals and got his license and was waiting for a fight. That's how it's done.
that's how it's done, and that is why he's fighting on Saturday.
Correct. You want it? There you go.
Yeah.
So great kudos to him. Kudos to his team who are currently waiting in a delayed flight right now in Timmins. Looks like they're being rescheduled, so they'll be here a little bit later today. So thanks for your patience, boys. And yeah, let's move into our next fight. Title fight. Dylan Shepard, Jimmy Pino.
Man, this I don't blink. You know what I mean? This is a 5-round fight. I do not suspect we're going to go to 5 rounds. You know, obviously we've seen what Dylan's capable of. That spinning heel kick and you know, a triangle finish so far. Undefeated, 2 finishes. You know, finally fighting at 45 where he really should have been. You know, and Jimmy, holy smokes! I mean, we've seen Jimmy going up against a bigger Josh LeBlanc and just all over him. You know, a great striker, and we know he's got some ground game. So, you know, Dylan looking to avenge a teammate's loss. You know, similar to the other guy there, but man, you know, like with a little bit of controversy on this one, you know, it is what it is. This is the fight that makes sense. These are 2 guys that belong in this division. You know, these are 2 exciting fighters. These are 2 guys that were willing to fight each other. And, you know, they're very talented amateur fighters, and it's going to be an awesome fight. And whoever managed to pull this off and hold that 45-pound belt for the first time, you know, that's a deep, deep division. That's got to be our deepest division. And, you know, we'll see what happens. Like, I'd love to see a defense, but I suspect, you know, depending on how things shake out, this could be just a launching pad for one of these guys. So,
You know, the thing is with these amateur titles, like, you know, like I saw an article that Dylan did over in PEI, like in the paper there today. I read it, and it was a great article. And he was like, I don't care about the title at all. It's like, I just want to avenge the loss for my teammate, which is really, you know, it's like, it's an amateur title. It's great to have, but at the end of the day, he's got bigger goals to attain, right? And that just shows you what kind of team player he is. You know, I don't care about the belt. I just care about avenging the loss, right? And Jimmy's kind of the same attitude, just a good, you know, great martial artist. And so we'll see what happens, man. But you know, it sucks when people just go pro after they win an amateur title. But I also certainly understand it and why you're doing it, right? Like,
absolutely. I mean, if you're looking at your fight resume, you know what makes sense. You become you start as an amateur, you become the best in your division. You move to pro, your goal is to do the same thing, right? So.
And that you know, like back in the days, and people would have 10 to 15, 20 amateur fights. Now, maybe 3 to 5, or, you know, time is of the essence sometimes in life. And
yes, I mean, some guys definitely lost a couple of years with COVID and everything else, and just not having promotions in Atlantic, Canada that were busy or working or doing anything. So it's been a lot longer than just a couple of years with really no opportunities. So now that, you know, the ball's finally rolling and we're starting to build the roster up, you know, in a year or two, these guys will be, you know, 4-0, 5-1, this and that. Right now they're, you know, 0-0, 2-0, whatever. But it is growing up, and I don't know if we'll see that shift. Like, I think you know, especially on the East Coast, because you can't get 10 fights in a year, guys are jumping earlier, where like you see the guys, you know, down in California or Texas or wherever there's a massive regional scene, it has been, they're doing 10, 12, 15 amateur fights before they jump into the pro ranks. But yeah, you know, we'll see how that evolves over the next few years, I think. And the more opportunities that arise, I think the more amateur experienced guys are going to seek out, you know, because it is more of like how many years do you want to spend at amateur? You know,
well, it's wear and tear on your body. It's great to have experience, but there's a lot of wear and tear on your body and damage. But Like,
Yeah.
again, you go back to being in the States, you can compete like once a month if you're healthy. And a lot of times as an amateur, you're some of these events, maybe you're not getting full medicals, like up here, an amateur is treated in our profession, like on the East Coast, both Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, amateurs are treated like professionals with medicals.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's in my opinion great, because it kind of shows you when you get into the pro ranks, you're like, oh, there's nothing new. This is the same thing that I've been doing all along. Whereas it's a big surprise if you've never done this kind of process before, and you're like, oh shit, I got to do all this.
Yeah, you go from gym battles to the bright lights right away, and you're right. Like with the amateurs, they're learning how to cut weight. They're learning how to peak at the right time in their camp. They're doing the walkout. They're fighting in front of a crowd. They're doing the interviews, all that stuff. Exactly. And I mean, it wasn't that long ago, man. It was only when I started fighting amateur back in the day. It was like the first wave of amateurs. It didn't even exist. So you didn't have a choice. Everyone in the East Coast just turned pro when they wanted to start fighting.
Yeah.
And, that was only 10, 12 years ago, I think. So just having the option to fight amateur and get a little bit of experience before you jump pro and start affecting that pro record, yeah, I mean, it's invaluable, right? I mean, it should be part of the process. There's a reason boxing and everything else has the amateur ranks, and they even have, open class and novice, the same way we do. So no, it's good. And hopefully with more and more shows, guys can get 4, 5, 6 fights in a couple of years instead of 2 or 3. And I think that's going to really help with the progression of the amateur divisions. And when the guys do pro debut, the level is just going to be a notch higher. And we're going to see that, 5 years from now, this conversation is going to be different.
Very much so. Well, we got a lot there. We'll talk lots more about that. Next
How long do you want me to go for?
Yeah. Let's start. Jesse Hurts, Isaiah Medituk.
Man, I'm stoked to see Jesse come back. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, he didn't work out on the card before with his opponent. Basically screwed everything up on his end. So kudos to Jesse for keeping his head up and staying ready, being ready to come in on this one. And Isaiah, coming in with 3 fights already and coming all the way across the country to fight him. Awesome. Looking forward to it. I mean, whether Isaiah comes to bang or not, Jesse's going to be putting it to him at 110 miles an hour. And I suspect nothing but fireworks to open up the pro card.
And, Isaiah's a gamer, man. Like he's
no question.
He's always game. He's willing to go after it. And he's got a lot of great people around him. And he's trains at high level clubs. And then, of course, he's part of, ringside management. He's out here with Team Conde and under Bruckman and those guys. So he's got a great camp and good people around him and lots of experience, amateur and pro. So we'll see what happens coming up in weight. Normally fights at 135, so this is a catch weight of 150. So that's interesting, man. But MMA is a beautiful thing for a reason. So having he's been just dying for a fight, so he's like, I want this opportunity, and so. And Jesse cut an interesting little promo there. I told him the other day, you got to start playing like your Ted DiBiase, like $1 Million Man, after he was doing the promo video. So it was fun, because it's some of these, at the end of the day, man, it's a fight. So whatever way you got to get yourself amped up,
Yeah, that's it, right? The mental part of it is huge. And, some guys' approaches, laugh and joke off and act casual, and other guys just dig in and get mean, and so we see all sides of it. I mean, you see it at every level. You see the characters come out, right? And that's what people want to see, man. They want to see these unique individuals with a bit of a story and a bit of a what's the word I'm looking for? Not like a bit of being a bit of character, like they gotta be interesting a little bit. And
well, it's looking like a guy like Rob Logan, for example, like Redbeard. That's his character. Like that's his
man.
Like, it is, and that's how he's became known in the community, right? Like it's just build your own character, man. And
he's got his persona, and people like that, man. People latch on to that and gives them something to follow, and
co-main event. Terry Lemaire, currently stuck in Timmins, Ontario, coming across for Morgan Ryan.
Yeah, man. I mean, what can I say? Like Morgan's one of my favorite guys to watch, win or lose. Like I know he's bell to bell action. Very strong kickboxer, obviously. And Terry's been trying to get out here for a while. So, oh man, it's gonna be high level. Like these guys have a ton of experience together. I mean, they have like 20 pro fights combined. And you'll see that like immediately when you go from a couple amateurs with a couple fights to pros with 10 fights each or whatever.
Much more easier approach for sure.
I think Morgan's going into his 12th pro fight and Terry's going into his 8th or 9th. So ton of experience, a lot of time in the gym, and you're going to just see some refined technique. And it's going to come down to either one of these guys wearing the other one down and catching them, or someone just making a mistake. And it is the who can be more perfect game, essentially.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
So these guys are going to be technical, and we'll see. We'll see. I know Morgan, after his last bout, probably a little disappointed with his conditioning, and I suspect that's going to be fully rectified at this match. So expect nothing but action. And I think it's going to be a really high pace. The 35ers, man. I mean, obviously I'm biased, but I think the bantamweight's probably the most action-packed division.
Any science behind that, or
just because they're smaller, less to push?
It's hilarious how, if you look back in the day, how they like when Kalidas was in the UFC and they were starting to let go all these featherweights or flyweights, and it's like now you look at it and it's like how this is so exciting to watch. I don't understand how
how they wouldn't put them in there. Yeah, exactly. Like I mean, if anyone watched the Peter Yan, was it Devashella or something like that? Sorry, I can't pronounce his name. Man, these guys did 25 minutes of basically sprinting.
Yeah.
Like it's incredible. And I do think the smaller frame and the less muscle mass helps keep that action up. I mean, you need less oxygen to supply everything and blah, 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 right? So that's what I do expect in the lighter weight classes. You hit basically 155 and down, you should be a cardio machine. And if you're getting tired, then that's on you. Like the one thing I tell my guys, and I know for myself, like you step in there's one thing you have control of. That's your cardio. Mm-hmm. If you get tired and you get beat up because you're tired and you can't do anything, that's on you. And you need to go back to camp and you need to triple what you're doing for cardio.
There's nothing worse. It's like literally anytime I've competed and just gassed out and like it's embarrassed myself because I haven't put the time in to action because I'm so busy doing this shit. And you can say that's an excuse or whatever, but I just haven't given myself any time I've competed enough conditioning to actually take it. You know what I mean? Like that's
conditioning's underrated, man. And until you experience what competition is like, it's usually, like everyone I find is like, you got to do conditioning, blah, 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 blah. Yep. Got it. Super well conditioned. Do one fight. It's like, okay. I see what you're saying now. It needs to be double what this is. And it's true. And, I know from competing back in the day myself, it was like every competition, it just went up a level, up a level, up a level, up a level. But you need to be competing against these guys, and you need that to like rub off on where you need to be.
You need like a lot of pressure, a lot of work. Like do it
and a lot of times the guy that can push the pace the hardest is going to break the other one. And there's nothing worse than gassing out, man. I mean, you get so tired, it's just like I don't even care. Just punch me in the face, kick me in the head. I don't give a shit. I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, from my end, it's not that I've been in a cage fight, but for me, I've gassed out plenty of times on that.
It's terrible. It doesn't matter if it's jiu-jitsu, it doesn't matter if it's MMA. Like, there's nothing worse than gassing out and just basically being a useless, bag of potatoes that just wants out of there. Like, if you're thinking about that, you need to be thinking about conditioning. So I don't think that's going to happen with these guys. I mean, I think they're going to be super well conditioned. They're veteran pros at this point. And it's about time that we got them lined up against each other because this is going to be an awesome fight.
They've been wanting to fight for a while.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Boy stuck in the airport.
I won't show you that text on a live podcast. Main event, folks. Sean Wallace versus Justin Conde. Live TV. So fun. Yeah, super excited for this one. Like you said, Wallace, man, first time coming back since 2019. when he was supposed to be our main event at FL or 2020. Sorry, when he our main event, and then going against Conde 3-0. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Wallace is, one of the most experienced pros we have on the East Coast. And also had a run at amateur, you know what I mean? He was undefeated at amateur. I can't remember how many fights he did. It wasn't a lot, 2 or 3, but he won those and then moved pro and mulled through the ranks for quite some time. I mean, the guy's got 10 fights. He's been to a decision twice, I think, and just really well rounded. I mean, the guy's a black belt. The guy's had a ton of kickboxing and striking experience. And going against Conde at 3-0 as a professional mixed martial artist, it doesn't reflect as over 100 amateur fights, whether they were smokers or sanctioned or not.
Yeah.
That's 100 times you had fight experience, right? That is invaluable. So I don't see Justin shying away from anything Sean's going to show him. And from what I've heard about this Conde kid, man, he's tough as hell. So I'm glad Sean took this fight. I'm really happy to see him back in the shape he's in now. It shows he's taking it seriously and he's ready to come back and show people what he is capable of. And with him being out for so long, I think he's the kind of guy that really wants to make a statement. So beating a guy like Conde is going to do that. And for Justin coming down, seeing, a guy like Sean, same thing. I mean, if he can get through Sean Wallace, then who knows where they'll go, right? So interesting matchup for these guys. Yeah, it's very stiff competition. Nobody's looking for an easy fight. So, man, it's going to be a crazy main event and just a ton of experience, and we're going to see some polished fighters.
Love it. Can't wait. Paul Holmes, thank you for the compliment, sir, and looking forward to getting your son back in there at some point, hopefully. But enjoy the golf. The golf's starting soon, Paul. I know you're out there swinging at the driving range, so hopefully you get some rounds in soon. But yeah, man, really looking forward to this weekend. Athletes, everybody's great. Everybody's weight is on par, so it looks like we're gonna have a great event. Final tickets, folks. Tickets, FightLeagueAtlantic.com. Like I said, pay-per-view tickets and one table available still online, FightLeagueAtlantic.com. Big thank you to our sponsors, everybody who supports us behind the scenes. Certainly couldn't do it without you, our staff, our friends, our family, everybody like that, and of course the athletes, teams, and coaches. Weigh in tomorrow at 3 o'clock at the Moncton Coliseum. Again, reminder, Instagram only, not Facebook or YouTube. And as well, if you're in town, by all means, stop by and check it out. And otherwise, I guess, John, any final words?
Oh man, I'm just really looking forward to seeing everybody this weekend. I always love these fight weekends where we get to see all these guys that we've known forever and touch base and see how everyone's doing. We're gonna have an action-packed night of fights again Saturday. It's gonna be just amazing. The Coliseum is always great, and the crowd that comes out. I mean, yeah, I'm really excited for it, man. I'm excited about everything, like the whole social part, the whole entertainment part. I mean, it's our job, so we're looking forward to pulling off another successful event, and yeah, man, we're pumped.
It's crazy. Every 7 to 8 weeks, we get to go and be part of a big fight event in the community, and it's absolutely crazy. As fight fans, this is what we get to do.
Exactly.
So, yeah, man. Drive safe tomorrow. And Brad Davies, thanks for the shout out. We'll see you. If we don't see you this weekend, we'll certainly see you in May or June, I believe.
Right on. Yeah, man. I mean, safe travels to everyone moving up to Moncton this weekend. All the fighters, teams, all the people coming to help put the show together. Our amazing crew. We're all gonna descend on Moncton once again, and we'll see everyone Saturday night for the big show.
There you have it, folks. We'll see you Saturday. Order those tickets.